I know you've answered this from your mailbag. Do you think the Browns might look at running back, offensive line in the third and fourth rounds of this upcoming draft?
Offensive line, I'm kind of leaning towards no, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is, I mean, you look at the investments they've made with Jack Conklin, getting him re-signed to a 4-year extension. That there's the likelihood, according to Mary Kay Cabot, who reported this around the combine, that they could give Jed Wills Jr. the 5th-year option, keep him around for 2 more seasons. Based on that alone, that would kind of take me out of thinking offensive tackle is kind of in the mix. And when you look at interior offensive line, this is not a good class for interior offensive line. And the guys that I like, and any one of the guys that might be available for them in the third round that have good value, they really fall outside the Andrew Berry age guardrails. It's an older class of interior offensive linemen, with the exception of Utah's Braden Daniels, who would be a really good fit in the 4th round. Very athletic, has a track background, and you watch Utah play a lot. That offensive front, in some ways, the way they play football, it's very similar to Michigan. It's a very no-nonsense power run style game. I mean, look at what they did to USC in that Pac-12 championship game. They wore them down. It really grinded them down in that game. So getting part of that offensive line to continue to develop, especially a guard, I think in particular, continuing to invest in the interior offensive line makes a lot of sense. As far as running back goes, I said before that that's a very sneaky need for the Browns, because as much as we don't want to talk about it, Nick Chubb is not getting any younger. He's going to be 28 at the end of the year. There's always going to be the inevitable decline of running backs. So I would think if you're the Browns, you want to get ahead of that. Obviously you got Jerome Ford. He showed some flashes. I think we're going to see more of him this season. Adding another back, maybe as early as the 3rd round, I think makes a lot of sense, especially you can get one that's a capable receiving threat out of the backfield that can turn 2-yard dump offs into 20-yard receptions. Guys like Devon A-Chain from Texas A&M, who's an All-American in track in college, or Tyjae Spears from Tulane, a smaller back who is just so explosive when he can find a hole and runs so well in the open field, very good with his hands, dominated the Senior Bowl. Maybe the 3rd round is too late for a running back. Maybe I'm kind of off base on that, but that's, to me, is still a sneaky need that I think if the Browns are going to truly look forward, as we saw with Andrew Berry last year, taking Martin Emerson with his first pick, even though he had a very full corner room, he's looking ahead to the future with these draft picks. So, I mean, there's not a lot of things I think he can rule out when it comes to where he would potentially go in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the right running back that they grade high enough. I love Spears, but they're going to have their guys. If one of their guys is there, I could see them going running back without question.